Okay, we're back. DPW report. Marvel's here with us.
Okay. Well, since Thursday morning, quite a bit has changed on my update. I'll do my best to bring you up to speed. But first, before I forget, I received a document from the FERCog late yesterday afternoon. It's to be signed for doing the bidding of the highway cooperative bids, all our materials and highway. There's a sheet attached to the packet that I gave you of everything they bid for us. So once the bids come out, we'll put our quantities in. Once the board signs off that we can rejoin the FERCog for their services. Dwayne and I will go through the quantities that we expect to use, so on and so forth. And then the FERCog will bid everything out. We'll receive the bid list when the bids are opened and awarded. And then for the full year, starting July 1st, we can go to those contractors or companies for materials and supplies for best pricing. So at the end of the day, it's about $3,100 to join the FERCog. We're a member. It's a lot of time and money saved by them doing all that work. I'm sure Andrew wouldn't like to do 15 or 20 bids for materials. So
they get good rates too.
Yeah, and on page 4 is looking for the signature to rejoin the COG, if you will. And then page 3, it'll probably be Dwayne and I for direct contact for the materials and whatnot.
So it's safe to say that the round numbers, $3,200 that we would spend to be a member, we easily make that back up in terms of savings, both in time of having to procure bids and in.
By far.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Okay. So I just a quick brief over my report to you. I'm working on the actual operating budget, FY27 operating budgets, the capital. I hit the deadline, got everything into Andrew for capital requests for FY27. On this sheet, I said I'm working on an assistant superintendent job description, but we were able to get that accomplished. I had a draft that I sent you all, but the final I was able to get to you yesterday morning, I believe, where we feel it'd be a final. And I just want to touch on that a little bit. The position that opened up is essentially a laborer. In our plant, the way our plant is set up, we really need to look at successive planning. It's something I'm looking at. I would like to align it with highway and the water. So we have a superintendent and an assistant, especially these licenses take so long to get. If we hire a laborer down at the wastewater treatment plant, it'll be a minimum of 5 years for them to be licensed to run that plant through DEP and EPA. So I decided to take this next step and try and hire an assistant superintendent, but I'll need your blessing on the job description that I provided with you, for you, I should say. Did you all have a chance to review that?
Yes. My only question that I had is that there's no range of compensation included in this. Is that left admitted for a reason, or?
I don't believe any of ours here have that.
Oh.
I mean, when we put it out for applications, we usually have a range in there.
Yeah, the descriptions don't have a compensation range, but the postings do. But it's probably worth talking about that in this group.
Yeah, I guess that's where.
I mean, I would intend to mirror the compensation for the assistant water superintendent. Probably keeping in that range, but
and that
those
was
are
my
two similar
thinking.
positions.
And how does that compare to what we're currently?
It's a large increase. It's higher for sure. It would change what our budget looks like.
Yeah. But if we can bring a 3M license in, they're a year or two away from getting the full license to run that grade plant.
Okay.
Or less, depending on where they're at.
Right, where they fall, yeah.
Okay, shall we make a motion for that? To approve it?
Yeah,
Should I?
go ahead.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the revised job description for Assistant Wastewater Superintendent.
Motion made,
Yeah, I'll second that.
motion seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. So highway, as you know, we received our first substantial snowstorm back on 12/2. It was a pesky storm. I had conversed with Luke a little bit during the storm, and so did Dwayne. It was a very wet, heavy snow, and it never got above 28 degrees. So it was one of those storms that you had to stay right on top of it and keep the roads treated. Otherwise, we would have bonded ice probably still today on the roads. Once you get hard pack, it's twice as much money to get it off later on, even more, to make the roads safe. So equipment went pretty well. We had some minor breakdowns, some lights. We got basically everything fixed up within a couple of days after the storm. Had a little, couple small treatments. We had to come in, maybe 1 or 2 trucks to treat the mains. Some dustings. It was slippery in the morning since that first storm. So we've been in basically, we've had 4 events, number 1 being the snowstorm. And next month, I hope to have an update on where our costs are for snow and ice. I think we're doing okay for now. Obviously, it's early. And again, the other 3 events was very minor, a couple staff members and a couple small trucks. So we were able to cover the town. Projects, unless you have any questions on snow and ice. So the Hatfield Elementary School roof, moving on to projects. We're just finishing up the design. We did make a decision on the material of the roof, I believe last week. We decided to go with the PVC for many different reasons. To drill down, I could talk for half an hour on roofing materials now, but anyways, the way for us to go would be the PVC material. The Hatfield Elementary School boilers, we had a walkthrough on December 10th on potential bidders. We had a great turnout. Somewhere around 12 to 15 contractors showed up to take a look at the boiler room. I think that bodes really well. Hopefully they all take bid docs out. And it's looking like if that happens, it's always a good thing. Generally, you get really good pricing on a project. When you get that many bidders, it's pretty competitive.
Filed sub bids on that are due tomorrow. So we'll
Yeah.
get the
Yep,
electrical quotes in, and then those go to the general bidders. And then the deadline for that is the 30th. So
Is there a timeline when you want to put these in also? Or,
when the work will happen?
yeah,
As soon as we have a bidder, we'll run references real quick, get a contract signed by you, and then get them in by mid-January. Get it done.
Yeah, the goal was at least if it's wintertime, put in one and then keep the other one operational, then put in the other one, I believe. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe the intent's to build the new system with the other one in place and then dismantle.
Oh.
I think one change we had, they had to add a valve in order for them to tie the new system in. But I'll definitely keep you up to date. Andrew and I will on how that goes. But we're right on target for getting this done this winter, which is good. Route 5 water and sewer, I think we covered that earlier. Pavement management program, they're populating a lot of material on our roadways through GIS, so on and so forth. And we should be working with them in the next, I'm guessing, right after the holidays, to get the rest of that project moving. Andrew and I are kind of sitting on the asset management work order thing right now. We're still reviewing. It may be a budgetary thing as we review and potentially even look for another firm. So that's kind of on hold right now. Grants, unpaved roads grant. Dwayne has done a lot of legwork behind the scenes on this, getting costs and prices and work with Mass DOT. I certainly appreciate his help on this. And hopefully we will hit the deadline. I believe it's mid-January to have that application in. We received our new sewer truck last week. It's all registered and set up. And the water truck now is probably due to us in the next week or two, should be with us. Facilities, we had a kind of a semi-emergency downstairs here. The large sump pump downstairs had quit working and the alarms were going off, which we all know the groundwater table and the Council on Aging's down there. So I had a company come in, they had to pull it, they pulled it all apart. We suspect a piece of debris went through and then it cavitated. So at the end of the day, it cost us a call out, but it didn't cost us a very expensive pump. I actually found a piece of cardboard wedged behind the battery backup on the alarm system. So I got a cost to replace that. Something about holding the battery into a piece of cardboard with electrical doesn't seem like a good idea to me. So we're talking probably a couple $100 to have that replaced. Minor, but could have been disastrous if we weren't around, you know. We could have had a lot of water down there. So that's basically my update. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask.
I just have the DPC engineering contract for
Yeah.
wastewater treatment plant.
Yep. So if you have, do you have any other questions on the rest of the update?
No.
Great. So let's talk about that. So we just put this in this section of the agenda. So we received this from DPC engineers who have been overseeing what they designed and are now overseeing the wastewater treatment plant project. Their contract stated that they had essentially a 12-month construction period, and that would have begun in August of 2024. They're responsible for all of the resident project representative services. They've done quite a good job of that. They have a person who's there most of the time, and that contract would have ended in August of this year. So the project is now going through June 2026. That's when substantial completion will be over. Contractor is doing a good job on this, but it was extended out because of the Eversource work and some other things. So there's still a considerable amount of construction left. That really wasn't the fault of the overseer or the contractor. So rather than 12 months of the RPR services, it really needs to be 22.5. So they're looking for 10.5 months added of those services, including anything from this August on. And then there's this other work besides the RPR that they want compensated for as well. They feel like they're giving us a pretty good break on that. If you were to add up all their services, it would probably be around $200,000 to add in. They're a longtime collaborator of ours, so they want to only charge us $102,000 and then charge $229,000 for the RPR services, which would increase the overall contract by $331,767, which is a lot. We need to decide if we think that's appropriate. There's not really a way around it. If the contract is for 12 months and instead it's 22.5, those are additional services, and it is substantial construction that they're overseeing. All of this is paid for by the current contract or by the current amount, especially by the grant that we're getting from USDA. So I broke down some numbers. We've currently, based on the contracts that we have and other expenses, the landing place right now for the project, even with this change, would put us at $12,598,000, and we have $13,429,000 to use for this project, and the last $2.4 million of that is grant money. So if we come in under budget, we're just not using the grant money.
We don't get that 2.4.
We don't get that money back, which is what it is. So right now, even if we accepted this change, we'd still have $830,000 in contingency, but other funds that we'd be looking to spend. We'd be looking to either use it on any other change orders that come in, but also look to increase the scope of this project, paying for most likely generators at the Ferry and King pumping stations, which would take that off of our capital plan, which would be very nice, and potentially some other work as well in upgrading that Ferry Street pumping station, which is another project that we have that's out there in our capital plan. So all of which is to say we have the money. The question is, does this look like a fair increase? And is this the way we want to go?
Well, you're saying it is a fair increase. You're saying it looks good, and
yeah,
you're
from what I
saying
can
it's a
tell.
fair increase?
I think it's fair, considering extending what, the 10 months overall.
This is the extension. I mean, Eversource caused a little bit of problem there, if I recall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the reason this had to be extended.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's
Still,
also just the project is taking longer, and
Yeah.
they do.
But we're still under budget. We got the grant. We're still within the grant. So on one hand, we're sort of
I
safe.
feel like under budget's a term that we're not really under budget. The town is still expending all of the money that
yeah.
we voted to expend. It's just there's extra money available to us through the grant to help fund some of it.
I don't know. Is there really $300,000 more work that they're doing? I mean, all I know about is the Eversource thing. I don't know what else.
Well, I mean, then there's been all these little change orders and adults and stuff like that we've been ticking off. And so,
But we've been paying for those also as we go along.
right, but the amount of time that the engineer has to spend on site is not being accounted for in those, I don't believe.
Really?
That would be
Because-
true.
The change orders
That would be
it's-
just on the construction side.
is just on the construction side, both materials and like for WM Schultz or whatever for their time. But DPC has a representative there overseeing the project for us. So that from the way I understand it, that is what they're trying to recoup is some of that extra time that they've had to be on site. I mean, I think some of the percentage courtesy fees that they reduced is a nice show of good faith.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's pretty straightforward when they're just saying, if this is what our services cost per month and the project is almost doubled in length, then we do need to be charging more for the services that come monthly.
What was the contract for the completion of them doing the job? I mean, is this within the contract for us doing this?
I mean, it's a good point. It's that if they're overseeing the work and it's partially their responsibility to keep it moving
Yeah.
forward.
I think one of the biggest glaring questions that I have is like they outline and they say that the pre-COVID implementation timelines were expected to almost double post-COVID era.
Mhm.
I mean, I might be wrong in thinking this, but didn't this bid go out post-COVID era?
The bid would have gone out post-COVID.
Right. So
Design would have happened during COVID. So maybe,
I just
I
don't
know
think
enough
it's a
to say
valid.
why do things take longer.
Right. I don't. But it's to point the finger at that's what's making this take longer. The project went to bid and started post-COVID era. So you would think that the engineering service would have said, this isn't an 18-month project. This is a 36-month project, or whatever the numbers are.
Yeah.
So I just don't really know if, like, to me, that's not a good reason to say that that's why this is taking 10 and a half months longer. I also don't like the fact that this construction phase is only extended through the end of June. I think we need some clarity on, is that actually the expected end of this, or are we going to be doing this again in another
Yeah.
3 months or in
Substantial
May or
completion
June?
right now is on track to take place at the end of May. And then final completion is the end of June. So
Usually the punch list items.
Well, I mean, I would feel better if that was through July 22nd or August 22nd.
more time?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I don't want to have to come back and do this in June when, I mean, they're seeing the same numbers that we're seeing of what's left in the grant. And I don't want to be approving another $200,000 to the engineering service in the beginning of June because we're not going to hit our June 22nd deadline. And they need, and for other unforeseen circumstances. So
I would imagine that the engineer would accept that this is a fixed cost proposal if we extended it through the end of August. I would imagine that they wouldn't increase their prices if we said, you know, we're not increasing it if
Right.
this goes through August.
I mean, I feel like this is the first part of a conversation in a negotiation.
Mhm.
And I think in terms of, I think they're doing good by us by giving us reduced rates on things. And I
Right.
think it's our due, it fits within our ask of them to increase the amount of time that they're willing to stay on site for. I mean, we're still a long way from even June,
Mm.
you know, so we're, you know, 6.5 months out from that. So I just feel that there's a pretty good chance that there could be an additional project, especially if we have money left that we want to start, you know, whether it's
Mhm.
adults or anything like that, that's going to continue to push timeline back. So I'd feel better with the end of August, personally.
I agree with that.
I
Yeah.
think it's a reasonable
Can we-
ask.
Can we, yeah, so, yeah, so how do we do that?
Well, we could provisionally accept this as long as they are willing to change that timeline without an increase in service costs. And this board could approve that arrangement.
That acceptable to you? That acceptable to you?
Through the end of August?
Yeah.
All right, I will bring them back that request. And as long as they say yes, then we'll just get everyone to sign it.
So I'll
Need a
need a
motion?
motion to say
Yeah,
that.
let's motion.
I'll make a motion to provisionally approve the amendment to DPC engineering contract for wastewater treatment plant with the extension of construction phase through the end of August
Second.
2026.
2026.
I will second that.
Motion made, motion seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Hey,
Motion carries. And I don't see how they won't approve it because they'll probably say, well, we're going to be done anyway, so.
right.
Yeah.
In theory.
I think it would be a courtesy to us. I mean, this is understandable that we are extending this for them, but it is a lot to ask of the town. And
Right.
I
And a lot
think
of
that
some of the change
fair.
orders that were brought ahead to us were based off of recommendations from them. So
Yeah.
it's not surprising that we're past the deadline. So
Mm.
I think it's fair to both parties.
I like that.
I think it's a good point, Luke. It's incentive. So we are done in June.
Great.
Okay, since you mentioned capital planning, we did meet already, and we are in the process of looking at projects and cost and getting together. So there's David Kears, the chair on that. Christy Bordeaux was there, Michael Cahill, myself, and Andrew attended. So the process has begun on the capital planning.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we've got a good group for that. So. And we have one vacancy on that committee if anyone's interested, I believe.
Yes. Okay, with that being said, town administrator report.
Yeah, I'll be really quick because it's already
Yeah.
7:47, but who's counting? I want to begin just
Yeah.
by thanking the residents of Hatfield, thanking folks who showed up to the special town meeting. We had 133 people come. We were there, you know, biting our nails, wondering, are we going to get to 75? And the folks in this town really answered the call. So I appreciate that. We have submitted our tax rate. It's done. We're doing now the data bridge where we take the information from the assessor's office and put it into the treasurer's system for getting bills printed. Bills will be printed tomorrow and then stuffed next week and then sent out. So those will be on time, and that's I really appreciate everyone here tonight and in the public for making that happen. So thank you. Um, I am proposing the next set of meetings. We only were scheduled through tonight. So I recommend that we meet twice a month in January, February, March, and then meet 3 times in April, just in case we need that extra meeting to approve of the budget. We'll do that as a joint meeting with the Finance Committee. Town meeting will be May 12th, and then we'll have a meeting on May 26th. That meeting, we usually only schedule through then, because by that point, we'll need to see who's on the select board, since you will have elections in May as well. Wanted to see if you have any conflicts with those dates. I can also send them by email if it's helpful, but I think this should be a good start for us.
Those all work for me.
Right.
Okay.
March, just as a reminder, I don't know what my March looks like. My wife is due on March 6th. I'll plan to still try to make most meetings. I assume I'll miss at least one in there, just whether that's February 24th, March 10th, we'll see. I'll need 2 weeks at the very beginning. I'll need more, but I won't be gone that long. We'll figure it out. So great. Thank you. We'll keep that schedule. We'll send that around. Health insurance. The Public Employee Committee did vote officially on December 1st not to move forward with the GIC proposal. So we're back to the drawing board looking at options. We're still waiting on a proposal from Maya, and we're looking at other options as well. I am very involved with Hampshire County Group Insurance Trust now on the executive committee. They're going out to bid for insurers. They're looking at changes to plan design. They have a lot of levers. We're working with a consultant called the Hild Group. We no longer have an executive director. He gave his notice back in November. They will at some point hire for that position, but right now we just need some stability and some expertise in, and the best way to get that was by hiring a consultant to essentially serve as executive director right now. So Hill Group has been doing actually quite a good job in giving us some options for July 1 of next year. I think we'll have a lot of things at our disposal to try to change the structure of that group and put things in the right direction. For right now, we just kind of have to get through till July 1, and that's going to be a challenge. But I'll keep you all updated on that. Ed already updated you on capital improvement planning, so we have 2 requests from the fire department, 1 from basically IT or general government, and then 12 from DPW between water, sewer, and highway. I have told everybody that as they're putting together their budgets for December 29th, to put together a level services budget that keeps in mind that this is going to be a difficult year for increases. We're going to need to be looking at cuts in most departments in some way. I think most people are aware of that and have been very responsible so far. So we'll keep that going. Requests so far have been very modest, and I appreciate that. Over December break, Capital Carpet and Flooring Company out of Wilmington, Mass. will be finishing up their project over at Smith Academy. They've replaced all the classroom carpets. They just have to finish with a couple offices there. That should be in good shape. And then we already talked about Day Pond tonight. So looking for starting that in mid-January. I'll keep you updated on where things land with that contract, but we should be in good shape. We're right around budget, and as long as we end up in the right place on the expense, we'll be just fine. Any questions for me about anything?
No, that's super.
Where are we at with the electronic timekeeping?
Yeah, good question. So we have given everything to our contractor. I don't know, our company on that. Harper's our payroll company. And Harper's is putting together the first wave of folks, entering them into their system. Hoping to get that out, probably not by this payroll, but the one after. The first wave is going to be people working in town hall. So just to make sure that our treasurer's office feels comfortable with it, it's treasurers, it's town administrators, departments, and then 1 or 2 other people. And as long as that works and we feel good, then we start rolling it out to DPW and fire. And we should be rolling pretty soon. So the weight is not on our end at the moment. Great.
Excellent news.
Yeah, coming along. I appreciate all the reminders and the pushes on that. But I think it's good that we're doing it.
So, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion made, motion seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You guys got a lot of signing to do.
Oh,